Hey everybody, this is Mickey G. How often have you heard that question, how stupid can you be? Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about being stupid. In this edition of Old Fools Talking Old School.
Well, to keep up on current things, brother, I mean, we'd have to do one every night.
Well,
This,
yeah.
this bug comes up with something every morning. I turn on that little MSN thing and hear the topics and then cut it off.
Yeah, that's the way I am too. I get up, listen to the headlines, and then I turn it on the local national radio station because like I said, I don't want to hear the rest of it because it's just, it gets you so, it gets you all them emotions, mad, pissed off, all of them, because as you listen to stuff and just thinking, how stupid can you be? You
Yeah.
know? And I just hope the midterms can change things because
Exactly.
all the Republicans up there are too scared to even say anything.
Mhm.
And it's going to take something like that I think, to change the tenor of the whole uh, Congress, because all the rest of them, Mike Johnson all the way down, are too afraid to say anything.
Oh, yeah.
So
They're
I
all
hope that
yes,
changes.
man.
Oh yeah, that's all they are. That's all they are. And I keep saying, I think he's going, even though he's done some stuff that I really wouldn't think a president or administration would do already. I just think he's going to go too far, and the tide's already turning. They already showing that he's losing some of his support from voters. I think he's going to do something to cut his own throat, and then that'll be the end of it. So we'll see. I may be wrong, but we'll see.
Well, as long as if these damn Americans would act like they have some kind of memory, what he's going to do? Start coming August, September, October, when you get time for midterm, he's going to start doing because he did it the last time. He started trying to do stuff that people wanted done because he was trying to get in their favor, to get that vote. So, I hope people don't forget. But he's going to have us so knee deep in wars. He's trying to start one and knee deep in everything else. And now that this is the turn of the year, the results of them terrorists getting ready to start coming in. And where I was in some store the other day, man, shelves were empty, and any kind of halfway specialty type item, it's hard to find. Hell, I can't find my lime juice now to go with my vodka.
Yeah. Well, man was in the store a matter of fact, it was right before Christmas when we were deciding what we were going to do for Christmas. And I originally said, I said, let's just get some chicken and I'll do some burgers on the grill. And then later on, I said, well, no, let's just do some steaks. Let's do steaks. I ain't gonna do burgers. I said, burgers, you got to worry about. Do you want cheese? Do you want bacon? Do you want mayo? Do you want mustard? Do you want lettuce? I said, let's just do steaks. You can just do a steak, and that's all you got to do. If somebody wants to put some steak sauce on it, that's fine, but that's really all you got to worry about. But she went to the store because I like those bone-in ribeyes. And she went to the store and she looked. She said, "Mickey, they ain't hardly got no bone-in ribeyes. Everything is bone out, boneless ribeyes." He said, "But I found a rib roast, which is basically ribeye steaks, but it's in a roast format. It's got the big bone." And I said, "Well, we can just have them, just slice that into steaks, and I'll just to put them on the grill." She said. Then she called me back and she said, "Oh, I finally found a bone-in ribeye." I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "How much is it?" She said, $21.95 a pound.
Yep.
I said, "What?" She said, $21.95 a pound. I said, "Mary, I can remember back at a time when if it wasn't right around $6 a pound, we said we ain't paying that."
Yes, sir.
This bone-in ribeye was $21.95 a pound.
Boy, we must live lives that mirror each other. We did the same thing because, we were like, I don't want no more turkey. I don't want no more ham.
Mhm.
all that, which we normally do that, do something different on Christmas too. And so Rosin keeps steaks in the freezer because I like a steak every once in a while. I'm getting
Right.
to the point where I really don't care for a steak that much no more. And I'll eat it, but I ain't really something I say, I don't want a steak. Anyway, we always keep about 4 or 5 of them in the freezer in there. So the boys was coming over. So she did all 5 of them just to make sure it had enough for everybody. And so she was going to replace them. she called me from the commissary, Rodney. I said, yeah, you will not believe how much these steaks cost. I said, oh, really? And she started telling me, she said, I bought 2 steaks and they were almost $40. She said, so I'm only going to buy 2. She said, I, we can afford it, but it's just the principle of the thing. I
Principle of
said,
thing. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I said, well, that's fine with me. I said, I meant to tell you the other day, I about had my fill on steaks anyway, and she said, I know, but I like to keep them in the freezer just in case when we say we might want one. She said, well, it ain't going to be but 2 in there now. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's a way, and I'm the same way. I've never been a big steak fan. I mean, when
hmm
people talk about, "Oh, yeah, let's get a steak, let's get a steak." I've never been a big steak fan. I'll eat one every now and then, and really, over the last 10 years, I've always went and got, um, shoot, not the steak, but uh I can't think of that. I'm tell you, when you get old, you can't remember stuff.
Yeah, hey, I
I
know.
would I wouldn't really even getting steak at that point,
Uh-huh.
and but like I say, we decided we'd go ahead and do it for Christmas. But I've never been a big steak fan. I can eat one, a couple times a year during the summer. Sometime when it's nice out, I'll go throw some on the grill and that kind of thing, and all. But yeah, she told me the price. I said, "Man, you kidding me?" She said, "No." And I said, "God, I can remember back when we looked for something right around $6, $7 at the most, and
Yeah.
consider that even, because I know like Publix and uh, uh, they usually have their prices are usually more. They tout that their meat and vegetables are all better, kind of
hmm
thing. So they would always be a little bit more expensive. But I'm saying, I said, I can't believe that. He said, yeah. He said, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, he pissed all the farmers off with all those subsidies and all the
Mhm,
tariffs and all that kind of thing. So what
mhm.
he do? They pass a bill to give all these farmers money. And I'm
Right.
like, you wouldn't have to do that if you hadn't have passed all these I mean, all these tariffs and all the things on imports and all that they were sending. So now, you got to go back and backtrack on that. And the big talk around this area is how the bourbon industry is going to hell in a handbasket
Yeah, I
because
saw
of
where
all that
some
stuff.
distilleries closed.
Yeah, Jim Beam
Yeah, Jim Beam,
is
yeah.
not going to distill any more whiskey the whole year. They said something. They got like 6 million barrels of whiskey sitting in their warehouses. They're not even going to distill any at all this year. And another one up in Kentucky went
Causing
out.
jobs.
Yeah. So I mean, all that ripple effect is happening, and I'm like, people like you say, you got to keep that stuff forefront in people's mind and say, look, these things, these, distilleries not distilling and these distilleries actually closing, it's costing people jobs.
Yeah,
This is
causing
jobs.
causing jobs, and he's a classic case who likes to create a problem and then come in and act like he's saving the day,
Yeah.
you know? And, the farmers were doing just fine. They had their agreements with them folks overseas and had
Yeah.
their contracts and all that. He comes in and screws it all up, and now you wanna give them a bailout.
Yeah. Now you want to give them a bailout for something you created that if you left alone, we wouldn't be there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, even, what it is, I went to the store the other day and, 'cause I did turnabout and fair play. I called her. I said, "Can you believe how much such and such" what is it I was telling her about? But, anyway, it was like a $3 difference in the price on so Man, it's like I said, I was in that store the other day, man. Some shelves were empty, especially any type of out of the pocket type item that you might want. Uh, it's just not there no more, man. People have stopped or cutting back on whatever they're producing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's the way it is. I know, man does, almost all of the shopping, but every now I'll go
oh yeah,
into Walmart or somewhere and I'll see something and I'll say, yeah, I'm in Kroger or Walmart and they got, XXX on sale. She said, how much is it? I tell her the price. She said, well, I used to pay $2 less
yeah,
for that. So, yeah, they say it's on sale because it's maybe a dime less than a normal price. She said, "But Mickey, that really ain't no sale." I'm like, "Well, I thought it was a sale. I mean, I don't
yeah,
go, I don't shop there. It says it's on sale." She said, "That's not really a sale. It's still $3 more than I normally would pay for it." But,
yeah,
so yeah, it is deceiving when you think that it says it's on sale and you don't do the shopping and you realize that sale ain't nowhere near what the normal price was 3 or 4 years ago.
yeah. That's the way we do it here. Because I know, like, I don't really go to the store. I go to this one little. Well, they got about 5 or 6 stores around Oklahoma City, though, and they stay open 24 hours. I go over there, and they have got me over the years because they'll put on there if the item is like uh $1.99, but if you buy two, it'll be $2.99. I'm like, well, what a bargain. I do that. I've been doing that for years. And finally, I started paying attention. Like, that ain't no damn bargain. You know, they just marked up one and didn't mark up the second one.
That's that's right.
but 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 I go up to I go over there because me and my wife can't come to an agreement on uh paper products. Now
Right.
we'll go to Sam's and buy those nice paper plates and bowls that we eat out of majority of the time. But when it comes to paper towel, don't be bringing no Earl Shire paper towels in here. I gotta unhalf half the goddamn roll to wipe
Right.
and not leave water streaks and shit. That defeats the purpose. I'm like, bring me some what is it? I stopped using the one because that's what the Koch brothers had manufactured. But anyway, I can't remember if it was Brawny or damn, what does I buy these damn
I think
things?
we use Bounty, I think it's what we
Yeah,
use.
Bounty is what we
Yeah.
use, yeah. And, hell, I'll bring the paper towels in there. I don't want them that, "Well, it's just paper." Yeah, but at least it picked up in the first swipe.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
The
so
thing that bothers me the most is you go in there and you buy a bundle, and I told man all the time when I go to Walmart, I said, "I don't know what the best deal is because there's
right.
like 6 different bundles of paper towel. You got, the mega roll with this 30 sheets and this, you got
Mhm.
the less." I said, "I don't know what the bargain is." So I just pick up whatever you've bought last, I'll replace that. And, and then you get up there to the rest, or you go up and you get a bag, some paper towels or toilet paper, and then I
Yeah,
go
yeah,
up and I buy, just something, I don't know, just something else, a couple of other things, and I go in there and I scan it, get in there, and I look at the price, and it'll say 60 something dollars. I'm like, wait a minute, I
yep,
only bought 2 candy bars of this paper towel, and I
yep,
look down and the paper towel and toilet paper are $30 each.
yep,
I'm
that's
like,
it.
goodness that you
I
gotta pay that much for
paper
paper
products.
towel and
Mhm.
toilet paper.
Yep, that's what I do. And see, Rosa, I realize that you're going to the store next month. But in between time, that a whole lot could happen where you can't find toilet paper, just like these folks. There's one butcher that I was talking to in the commissary one day, and the butcher where they were standing, well, the aisle that was straight down from there, it was full of like the paper towels and the toilet paper, and that's when people had a run on the toilet paper,
Mhm.
and I just said, this lady cracked up. I said, I don't know why they buying all this toilet paper because if we ain't got no food, you ain't gonna be able to make a turd, so you ain't gonna need no toilet paper. She cracked up, man, and started laughing. Said, "You're right." I said, "Yeah." I said, they getting all this toilet paper, and they ain't gonna even be able to make a turd. So what's the point? So I've been staying ahead from the last time of COVID. I still go in there and I get the amount of paper products that I need. We still got some in reserve back there. Keep saying I'm gonna rotate them in. That's what I need to do, but I'd be so lazy anymore. I just go ahead and start using them. But because after a while, they're doing COVID, and now they're coming back. They were only bundling up them big uh, unit of issue of them. Like
Right.
you can buy them big old bundles of, I don't know how many is in there. I opened one and started using them, and they were packaged within a package. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Because I didn't want to open them because I didn't want it all just sit there
Right.
and be exposed. And so I got another one in there I need to do, but I keep a stock of them up in there just in case.
Yeah. I mean, we do too, and I think it's probably just more of a mental thing from the COVID era when, like I say, you'd go in there and there weren't any, and then
Yeah,
they started to, restock, but you could only get one.
yeah,
I think it's just that mindset of, well, this could happen again. I'm gonna be ready. So we got, I don't know how many bundles up in the attic, and then we have a single bundle down here in the garage so that we could just, feed out of it to put in the paper towel holder in the kitchen and stuff. But, whenever that one in the garage we open it up, I go and buy another pack, or Marion does to fill that one in, and we still got 5 or 6 up in the attic in the other garage kind of
right.
thing. And I know what it is. I know it's just that mindset of, well, this could happen again, and I don't wanna be in another situation where it seemed like you ain't gonna be able to live because you don't have any paper towels
Paper
when,
towels, yeah.
we grew up not using paper towel. My mom always had what we call the dry cloth. She would dry
Yep,
dishes with it. She would dry everything off with that. She had a dishcloth that she did the dishes with. We didn't grow up with paper towels.
exactly. Oh, yeah, no.
But, like you say, you get to the point now to where you feel like you can't live without them, and I don't know what it is with it is just a woman's thing, but I tell you, they can between Tamara and Mary, they can go through so much damn toilet paper. I said, "Y'all go through more toilet paper than I've ever seen in my life," 'cause we got a pantry down there where we have it in. I always fill it up, and I'll fill it up, and I'll go in there, and the damn thing's about empty again, and,
Yep.
and and Mary went, "Well, you don't realize women use toilet paper for more than just wiping their butts. They have other things that they got." I'm like, "I don't need to know about all that. All I know is y'all using a lot of damn toilet paper, you know, and this toilet paper is $30 a package." You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Hey, man, we I buy them, what is it, 12 packs of, Charmin and stuff, so 'cause them little, it's like they're like $11, and the little 4-pack is 9. I'm like, "I might as well buy this one." You know? So, I keep those stocked in there besides them big bundles that I've got in there,
Right,
so
right.
but I'm like you, every time one run out, I go out and buy a couple of more.
Yeah, that's
Stay
what I
stay
do.
up on them.
That's what I do. I do the same thing. It's just, as I say, I know it's the mindset from going through the COVID stuff that, you don't wanna have to go through that again, and like I say, it's just so silly now you think about it. You go into the Walmart and the damn toilet paper, paper towel rack was empty, but
Yeah,
the meat cases were full. It's almost
yeah.
like, wait a minute, shouldn't there be a run on meat or
Yeah,
on
I'm telling you.
the canned goods? What? No, we're gonna get all the paper towels and toilet paper you got.
That it
We're
just
okay
goes
that
to
that's not you can't eat none of that.
yes, sir. That just goes to show you how that advertisement can force people to do that don't even make sense,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know? And
yeah.
and and I'm still doing the same thing. I keep, I created a space in my kitchen off the dining room, and, well, it's in the breakfast nook, uh where I used to stack my water. 'Cause, they had to run on the water thing, and
Yeah, yeah.
hell, now that's like a part of the kitchen. That's part of the furniture. If it's empty, I'm like, "Oh, I gotta go get some more water." You know? I keep I keep me about 8 to 10 stacked up over there side by side and, right by the sodas. So, like, well, hell, that's part of the kitchen now just in case.
Yeah, 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 it is, it's crazy, it's
It
crazy.
it is, man. But I broke out, I had to go to the VA the other day. Was that, Friday, Thursday? And I thought about it. I was like, let me get me a mask." And sure enough, when I walked in there, I didn't have it on,
Mhm.
and, it wasn't hardly anybody in the waiting room. By the time I got through talking to the lady at the window and turned around, it was full and just hear, "Oh, oh, oh." I pulled I pulled my mask out, put it on, like, "Hell, it ain't never too early to start, god dog it, I'm."
That's true, that's true.
Yeah, I was like, "Man, I ain't even thought about no mask until I've been hearing lately about how it's picking up." They had even on the local news here how so many cases have been, uh, uh, reported by the hospitals and stuff. Like, "Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Back to
yeah,
that." And I'm like,
yeah, they've having surges down here. They was talking about, the surge in cases that they're having here, so, yeah, I said the same thing. It's and they said, the primary reason is that, there's less people getting vaccinated. They're not
"Yeah."
taking the vaccines anymore, even though I must admit, when you get the vaccine and then the next article you hear the next week is that, well, the most prevalent variant is not in this shot. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's a little discouraging when you
Yeah,
hear
it is.
that. But they say, well, it'll still help. It'll still make it not as bad if you get it as if you didn't have the vaccine. But yeah, that's always a little disheartening when they tell you that the prevalent strain ain't in what you took.
Mhm.
Uh, but I still get mine, like I said before. I said
Me
I got
too.
every damn vaccine you can get. If it's gonna kill me, it's gonna kill me. It's too late now because I got every one you could take.
Well, I hear you, man. Yeah, I didn't, I'm gonna have to I've been procrastinating. We need to go take that pneumonia shot. We hadn't done that one. But, I didn't, I got all the other rest of them, RSV and all that other. Well, I don't have shingles either. Matter of fact, I talked to my doctor about that when I went Thursday, and I said, "Man, I don't. I never had chicken pox, so if whatever it is not in my body, why do I want to introduce a vaccine to it?" And he was like, "That's a good question." I said, "I just don't see the logic. I mean, I've never had a chicken pox, so I don't know that I need to take it." And the reason I was bringing it up is because this I got water softeners in here. And anyway, when it starts getting cooler, and man, I get in that shower, man. I get out and dry off, and if I don't start lubing up right then, I damn near turn white, man. I'm so ashy,
Mhm.
and sucker start itching me on the side, and I have rosin where I can't touch, put the stuff on there, but it always comes up there, and that made me think about shingles. So maybe I do need to get that shot. And
Yeah, I got it years ago. Then I got the sort of the booster when they came out with a newer version. I got that one too because I know my sister-in-law went through it twice. My Mark went through it. Larry went through it. My uncle went through it. My uncle's wasn't that bad. But my sister-in-law, hers was pretty bad. She said it was like she was on fire.
wow,
So I said, well, I'll go ahead and get it. And I did have chicken pox growing up. So yeah, I got that one too. Like I said, I think I got every one you can take. Of course, being in the military, we had to get all them hepatitis shots because we were
oh yeah,
medics. So
oh
I
yeah.
had all them done too. So as I say, it's all in there now. It's a little late to be thinking about what coulda, shoulda. That's that horse is out the barn now with all of them. So Uh,
Yeah, it is.
I just keep getting them. Every fall I go down to the VA, get my flu and my COVID. Just like clockwork.
Yep, I do too. We go back here to, cause there for a while, they wasn't giving the COVID shot to your spouses, and then they started doing it at the VA.
Hmm.
And, so we go to this little pharmacy back here that, charges TRICARE. We don't pay nothing for it. We just go there. Plus, two, it's a little old pharmacy because we were going to the one that TRICARE had, whichever one, the big pharmacies that they had the contract with. And man, it was like standing in line. You had to wait and make an appointment and do all this. So we were talking to some friends. And they said, "Oh, we go to this little pharmacy. They take the same thing from TRICARE." And we would just walk right in. And ever since, it's been about 3 or 4 years, we just walk right in that day. You don't have to make no appointment. Just walk in. Say, "Yeah, I want to get some shots." "Okay, which ones you want?" And so I was like, "Well, we'll just come here instead of going to." Damn, I can't even think of the name of the pharmacies, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. I know. Walgreen here
yeah,
was doing
Walgreens, yeah.
was doing them for the. I think you could either be VA or TRICARE, recipient, and they would do them for you. But
Mhm.
I usually, like I say, I only go down to the VA about twice a year anyway. So usually when I
Yeah,
go down for my one yearly inspection,
right.
I usually go ahead and get it done at that time because it's usually not a line. It's usually just sort of walk in, fill out the little form, and they get you in. But yeah, Walgreen was doing it here, and I think I went there one time. I think I went and got my COVID shot or something there. But yeah, they were doing it too.
Yeah, so it's like, I ain't gonna complain. So many people out there that can't get them, and even more so now since they done let those, that money lapse on these people for, Obamacare, so it's gonna
Yeah.
be even more prevalent now.
And that's another thing that I hope they hammer home and don't let people forget about too is the Obamacare. I think if it goes up on enough people, then that's another issue they need to jump on. Because healthcare is some of the most expensive care, and uh, I heard the other day that Big Donnie was talking about he wanted to cap the interest rates of credit card companies. I mean, whatever happened to free enterprise? I mean, that's what our
Mhm.
country's been on, but he's gonna make credit card companies cap their rate at a certain amount. Now, I will admit some of those interest rates on credit cards, they start off with those introductory,
Yeah.
0% for 6 months. And after 6 months, it goes up to 25, 28%. I will admit, I think they're ridiculous. But those are the
Mhm.
kind of companies they prey on people who they hope can't pay.
Oh,
That's
no
what they
doubt.
do. They
No
want to
doubt.
get you hooked with that 0%, hoping when that 25% kicks in that you're gonna have such a huge balance you ain't gonna be able to pay it. So they're gonna make
Mhm.
even more money. So that's
Mhm.
just the nature of the
But
beast.
but he's talking about Obama had already done it. He didn't cap it. He just, made them, to where, well, I guess in a sense he did cap it kinda, uh, to, where they couldn't just do these exorbitant amounts of
Yeah,
interest
yeah,
rates on it. And, again, he's taking somebody else's idea, trying to claim it and make it his own, you know? Because Obama also did made the, made these companies, to where they had to, send you monthly bills showing you, your balance and how much you was paying and this and that. Because they used to just not, you didn't know where you stood. You basically just paid your bill. So, but he did a lot of things that this sucker rescinded, and now he's coming back with it because he don't know how to govern,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just
and
just
now
like
trying
all
to
the
act
people
like
they
this is what he.
fired
Yeah,
and brought them all back.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And talking about short memories, these dumbass people don't even remember the fact during COVID how he let all these people die, having to put trucks with freezers on them outside of hospitals. when he was in his first term.
Mhm.
Nobody talks about that. He's responsible for millions of deaths. He didn't even acknowledge that there was a problem until he couldn't lie no more about it.
Yeah. Well,
What
like I
have
said,
you
they have
done for
short
me
memories.
lately?
Yeah, they have short memories, and they some of them don't want to admit they were wrong. Even though I have probably heard more uh, former Republicans come out and say, "Yeah, I voted for him last time. That ain't gonna happen again." But there's a lot
Mhm.
of them that don't want to. They can't admit those kind of things. That and I don't know how many of those people are in the closet now that are just waiting, for elections to do that. They don't want to make it known now and to their friends and family in public. I don't know how many of those are there, but I've seen a number of them who come out and
Yeah.
said,
Oh, I bet there's a
I ain't
bunch.
gonna make that mistake again." Yeah, just about as common as asking how stupid can you be is someone saying, "I'm not gonna make that mistake again." And they do the same thing over and over. I guess that's what's called the human factor. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition. Join us next time for Old Fools Talking Old School. Until then, it's Mickey G. Peace.